All right. Good evening, my fellow Michiganders. Good evening, my fellow Americans. And man, do we have a couple things that we need to talk about tonight, especially since the governor continues to give us gifts, continues to do these press conferences, continues to just come out there and make statements that I get to go on and I get to fact checked, and I just get to do what I do best, is just continue to get on here and give you up-to-date, accurate, truthful information. And it's this is the funny part about this, folks, is you can tell that they're getting desperate and they're going to bring out all the stops and they're going to start making all these statements. And they actually send emails with their opposition group that gets back to us, and I get to look at it and read it. And so that's the first thing that we're going to do tonight, is we are going to fact check their email and kind of throw it underneath the bus because it's a lot of untruths. And then we get to go into what the governor said today, this afternoon, and we will continue just to give you the narrative. And the one thing that you need to do is, like I told you before, is number one, fact check everybody. Just because you hear it on the mainstream media or you hear it from an elected official, it's okay to look up the data for yourself. Use that thing between your ears to go out there and find the data. And I want you to do that with me. Like, just because I say it, go fact check me. You can fact check me anytime. I have nothing to hide. I will continue to be transparent and truthful with all of you, because that's the golden rule. Always do what's right and always tell the truth. And so, yeah, this is what we're going to do tonight again. And now this is just starting to get easier because they continue to lie and they're continuing to tell untruths. And so I will get on here and just do the opposite, is give you the data and give you the truths. And that's what's allowing our momentum to continue to build. I mean, it's almost shocking, like, what their narrative is. And I guess her side just continues to want to keep us shut down for the November election, keep President Trump out of the state of Michigan for his rally. So you can kind of see the end game. But holy cow, when are you going to start just doing what's right for the state? And that's what I'm going to just go through today and just give you these facts and the data with what's available to me as of right now. So let's get right into it, because it's not that hard anymore, folks. So the email that's going around from Keep Michigan Safe. All right. And at the top, the subject line: what happened in Wisconsin cannot happen here. And so when you read that, holy cow, Wisconsin must be on fire, right? That was their subject heading. What happened in Wisconsin cannot happen here. The new Republican-led petition drive, Unlock Michigan. No. Let's back up. The new Republican-led petition drive? No. The petition drive led by we the people. Huge difference, with almost 50,000 circulators out there right now with 4 petitions each, totaling of amount of 2 million possible signatures that we the people from our movement are doing. It's not Republican led. It's we the people who are leading this charge, and we the people are going to get heard, and we the people are going to win. So, would strip Governor Whitmer of her emergency powers and undermine her ability to keep us safe? No. Look, the repeal 1945 law, and I'm going to say it again at the end of this conversation because she brought it up again, and that's why I need you to share this video, because people really truly believe when we repeal this 1945 law, it's going to take away the governor's ability to declare a state of emergency, which is false. The 1976 law that still is in play will allow any governor, as of right now, unless that law gets repealed, to declare a state of emergency to get federal funding for at least 28 days. And at the end of the 28 days, guess what needs to happen? They need to work with their elected officials, which we the people elected, to have common sense, bipartisan solutions to move our state forward. That is the checks and balances. So for them to come out, number one, I'm going to demolish the old Wisconsin statement here in effect. I'm sorry, Wisconsin, that the radical far left is throwing you underneath the bus right now. We all know, and most of us in the state of Michigan know, that Wisconsin is indeed doing a good job, and your state is not on fire, and your economy is doing a whole heck of a lot better than ours. So we'll get to you in a little bit. Go Badgers, okay? But to get back to what they just said about undermining her and taking away her powers. We're not. We're taking away her ability to continue to unilaterally do these things, which she continues to do, extend the state of emergency and extend the state of emergency. And everybody's like, why is the legislature, sticking up? Because they're handcuffed, folks, because of that law. That's why it's in battle right now in the court system. And they got to keep their mouth shut until it goes through, probably all the way to Supreme Court, which is hoping that will be finished here, hopefully in the next 2 to 3 weeks. But you know how the court systems are. We just have to be patient. However, that's why we're repealing a 1945 law. We're not going to wait on it. We're going to get action done. So let me go forward with this email because we're not done. We must do everything we can to stop this reckless petition because we've seen similar actions in Wisconsin that have led to an uncontrolled spread of the virus. There's that thing that they like to do, the fear mongering, right? The uncontrolled spread of the virus, surging cases, all these big fearful words to keep everybody in fear and in control. So, me, when we have statements like that about uncontrolled spread of the virus, I'm going to look it up. And I want you to look it up because let's talk about the good old state, Wisconsin, our neighbor right across our big old pond in Lake Michigan. Wisconsin sitting pretty at 182 deaths per 1 million. Michigan at 663 deaths per 1 million. Uncontrolled spread, right? No. The unemployment rate, which I'm just going to put out there again because we're going to talk about the longer ramifications of what this governor is doing to our beloved state and to every Michigander out there. Unemployment rate in Wisconsin, 8.5%. Go Badgers. Michigan, 14.8%. So let's talk about the number of cases, which I don't really care about cases. Because, look, I said this from the very beginning. It's not a matter if you get this virus, it's when. All right. So you have to do your due diligence to protect yourself and protect the elderly and protect the immunocompromised, increase your body's ability to fight this virus. Do the necessary things, sleep, exercise, which is funny. We mentioned exercise, so I'm just going to go off on tangents tonight. I think the state of Michigan is still the only state left in the union that still has their gyms closed. That makes a lot of sense. So the very thing that's going to strengthen people's body and give people a release, we're going to continue to shut those down. However, I know more and more gyms that are starting to stand up because I was in mid-Michigan yesterday and I stopped and I heard about a gym around that area that was open, but they weren't announcing it. And they were just like, it's kind of like a speakeasy. And I was like, absolutely correct. That's what you do, gym owners. You go underground. You're like the speakeasies back in the Prohibition era. So do what you need to do to survive, to provide for your family. Even if you have to go underground with it, stand up. Stand up. You don't have to get on social media and announce that you're open, but you can do it ninja style. So that gym in mid-Michigan, God bless you for standing up. Way to go, folks. So let's talk about cases. All right, cases, because we have an uncontrolled spread. Wisconsin, 67,493. Michigan, 104,091 cases. Those are active cases, or confirmed cases, okay? Or active confirmed cases as of right now today. Here's the thing I want to point out. So they always talk about cases. Let's talk about how many out of that number have recovered, all right? Have recovered from that number. So in Wisconsin, 67,493 cases, right? 57,382 have recovered. So let me read that number again. In Wisconsin, because they're supposed to have an uncontrolled spread of the virus, 67,493 people have been confirmed to have COVID. 57,382 have recovered from it. And I just read an article today that once you get it, and more of this research is going to come out. So all I can give you is what I read today. They say if you get over this thing, it's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore, just like any other virus that comes through, right? So in the state of Michigan, 104,091 cases, 67,778 have recovered. Why aren't we talking about that? Because that's fact. That's going to allow people to say, hey, we're doing pretty good. Not everybody and their mother is dying from this. And I'm going to talk about what's her name, one of her medical professionals, Dr. Caldu, I think her name is. We're going to talk about what she said. So she's with the fear-mongering narrative too. So I'm going to start, analyzing everything that she says, because as a healthcare professional, I think you just need to tell the truth and not do with a media bias with a narrative, is just tell the truth. That's the truth of the data. So why aren't we celebrating that pretty much a lot of people are dominating this thing and they're getting over it? Okay. So in the beginning, what happened in Wisconsin can't happen here. I'm going to be honest. I wish what has happened in Wisconsin and what is happening in Wisconsin right now, that it could happen here. That's what I wish, because the stats don't lie, folks. 182 deaths per 1 million, 663 per 1 million Michigan. Their unemployment rate, hey, guess what? Their economy's not getting crashed by a unilateral dictator destroying it. They're at 8.5% unemployment rate, 14.8% for Michigan. Why wouldn't we want to be Wisconsin? Hey, why don't we do common sense solutions and start mirroring states that are obviously doing it right, that have done it right? Doesn't that make sense? Because she could have did that from the beginning, because nobody knew what this thing has and what it was going to do. So after 2-3 weeks with this narrative of like, hey, let's quarantine everything, after a while you could say, hey, we're starting to figure things out. Hey, this has happened in this state, this happened in this state. You know what? We can start doing some common sense things. Let's start working together. Let's do what's best for Michiganders. Let's do what's best for Americans and do what's right for this country. We don't have that. We have people aspiring to do things in what's called politics, which I continue to despise, and make these decisions that are wrecking and ruining people's lives for political aspirations. That's disgusting to me. That's horrible. That's not being a good human. Okay? So let me go on, because I'm not done. I'm just getting started tonight. Back when Governor Tony Evers was elected, the Republican-led legislature passed laws in a lame duck session that limited incoming Governor Evers' ability to keep people safe in times of crisis. And now Wisconsin has uncontrolled spread of the deadly virus. Nope. Michigan, a total of 6,618 deaths, 2,000 of those, I think, were in nursing homes, and we all know why, right? Wisconsin, 1,060 deaths. But Wisconsin has an uncontrolled spread of the deadly virus. No, I wish we could have been like Wisconsin, and wish we can be like Wisconsin, because the data doesn't lie, folks, unfortunately. We need to keep Michigan safe by stopping this reckless petition drive. Will you help fight back with a contribution of $25 or more right now? They're asking for money to fight us. And you can $10, $25, $50, $100, $250, and other. Make no mistake, our group, Keep Michigan Safe, is about preserving the governing authority of our state's executive, whether it be Governor Whitmer or any future governor after her. This dangerous Republican-led petition not only undermines our safety, but also our democracy. Pot, meat, kettle, right? What? This is the stuff that they put out, folks. This is the stuff that they're feeding their followers. And it's almost like it's getting to the point, because there's so much data that we've been talking about throughout this entire insane clown show that we're involved right now. And you hold up a highlight and you say, this is yellow highlighter. And the radical far left goes, no, it's not. It's a pencil. And then they release all this stuff out to people and say, this is a pencil. And I'm like, it's a yellow highlighter. Nope, it's a pencil. No, I can prove to you. Watch. I scribble. It's yellow. It's a highlighter. No, that's not true. That's the garbage that they're putting out to people. Because I can't make this stuff up. This dangerous Republican-led petition not only undermines our safety, but also our democracy. So last time I checked, a democracy included people working together. People actually work together for solutions. Now, in a tyrannical government where there's a dictator or a king, then they work by themselves and they don't want any help and their decisions are final. But it's also our democracy. I can't make it up. My job is getting too easy now. It truly is. And we must put an end to it. Please chip $25 in right now to help us fight off this irresponsible partisan attack. Bipartisan. It is a bipartisan. And you know what? We are attacking. We are defending our freedoms, our sacred values, our citizens' rights, everything that was inked on that piece of paper, and more Michiganders are standing up and defending. And we are on the attack right now. And we are going around this state of we the people and collecting an obscene amount of signatures in an obscene amount of time to strip you away of your unilateral, tyrannical dictator powers. And we're going to win. We are going to win. It's just like the virus. It's not a matter of if, it's when. It's when. Thank you. Keep Michigan Safe headquarters. Remember, if you see any petition gatherers, help us out by reporting them here. Good luck with that. With the 50,000 of us out there that are collecting, right? So that's the stuff that they're emailing people. And so let's transfer gears to what I'm excited to talk about is the governor's press conference today. So we get a drink of water. Here we go. So let's just go into what she had to say, because right off the bat, she went in the right, saying the wrong stat that she did the other week, that she had no medical research to back. So last week she said if 95% of Americans mask up, we would save 66,000 lives by December 1st. Let's fast forward to a week today. Look it up, folks. Now today she says we'll save 44,000 lives. Wait, what? This last week you said 66,000. So the research must have changed dramatically in a week, because now it's only 44,000 lives by December 1st if 95% of us masked up. Okay. So I won't touch that. So maybe next week it will be 20,000, 30,000. I don't know. But when I see something that I need to get after, I'm just shooting down the narrative, folks. And she went on to say, this is very dangerous, using unscrupulous measures on trying to collect signatures, talking about the Unlock Michigan petition, the repeal of 1945 law, which we will. We are lying and telling people this will help Governor Whitmer. I can almost guarantee you. Now, somebody may have a Freudian slip and maybe mention something like, yeah, it's going to help the governor. So they may. I'm not. There may be somebody out there that said that, but I can almost guarantee you, Governor, that the almost 50,000 people of Stand Up Michigan, of We the People, that are circulating these petitions right now are not telling people that this is going to help you. I can almost guarantee that that's not happening. And the other thing about encouraging people to sign with other people's names. No. So let's go back to the previous statement, because I'm going to have some fun with it. Lying and telling people this will help Governor Whitmer. So if you want to kind of think long-term with this thing, Governor, it just may. Because if we can repeal this 1945 law, which strips away your unilateral powers of governing, and we can start getting our legislature, which by the way was elected by we the people, that we put there to work for us, and they all start working together, it might actually help you out in the long run, because they're going to help you with decision makings. And I bet most of the decisions that they work together with to come up with, they may work. They may work. And it won't destroy our economy. And it won't destroy Michiganders' lives and businesses and livelihood. And maybe the suicide hotline, which I'm going to get to at the end, wouldn't be up 1,800%. Why aren't we talking about that? Oh, I have been. But if we strip you of your power, yeah, it will help you, because it's going to allow us to start making common sense decision making to get our state back. That's going to help you be a better leader, because I guarantee the road that you're going down right now with your tyrannical extension of the emergency orders is going to continue to run the state in the ground. We do know that because the data is going to start coming in about that very soon. And she went on to say, if it wasn't for the powers and what I had to affect, or excuse me, if it wasn't for the powers that I had that were not in effect, we would look a lot like Florida. Florida is in crisis because they didn't follow the science, kind of like how you governed, Governor, not following the science. So this is where I get to reflect back and go back to the very beginning of what you said in the beginning of flattening the curve, which we're all for, right? 2 weeks went by. We flattened that curve, but no data, no hospitalization data. So much, in fact, that when we wanted to request it and say, hey, where's the hospitalization data? Because we're hearing there's hospitals going out of business. There are hospitals laying people off. There's ICU rooms that are empty. Nobody's going to the hospital anymore. They're losing money. You requested, or basically, excuse me, not requested, but you did not allow us to have any FOIA requests from you and your staff about the hospitalization data. What were you hiding? What were you hiding? Then it wasn't about flattening the curve. We didn't hear about that anymore. We only heard cases and deaths, cases and deaths, cases and death. Until the data and the science didn't support that. Then we just hear cases, 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 cases. Now we have a new narrative. Cases and positivity rate. Man, this is fun how this circus just continues to evolve, right? Now that's all we hear is cases and positivity rate. So it's really easy to take different stats and to put them together as you see fit and then make a decision off that and kind of skew the data and the stats to fit your narrative. But I'm not going to let go everything that you've done since the very beginning, especially with your blanket approach with your governing, which I've shot down several months ago when Indiana, Wisconsin, what happened in Wisconsin can't happen here, by the way, what you're putting out on the email. What happened in Wisconsin, Indiana, and Ohio were all open. We were all still shut down. Everything was still shut down. Michiganders were going across the border doing business over there. There must have been an invisible force field that zapped this virus because when the Michiganders came back, there wasn't no big splurge in deaths. So why do we continue to shut down even though they stayed open? Still to this day. I can't make this stuff up, folks. It's all right there for you to read. My goodness gracious. It's all right there. So, again, you compared us to Florida, and I was in Florida last week for my wife's grandfather's 100th birthday. May we all be so lucky. If we don't live in the state of Michigan, we may be lucky, but if we keep going down this road, we'll see. So I was down in Florida for almost a week down there. I didn't see bodies all over the place. Every Floridian that I talked to actually had sympathy for us and commented on what we were going through and said, Florida's just fine. We're just doing what we need to do. We stayed open. Our businesses are open. We're trying to protect the immunocompromised. And look, we have the most elderly population in the country, the most. So it should be just wiping out Florida, right? It should be. Oh, but that already happened in New York and New Jersey in the first month. Okay, so I had to look up the data again because she made the comment again. Look at Florida. Didn't follow the science. Didn't follow the data. Florida's in crisis, kind of like how Wisconsin is. What happened in Wisconsin can't happen here because Wisconsin has uncontrolled spread of the deadly virus. And I know there's a lot of Floridians right now laughing, just like I am. I'm actually screaming inside at this unilateral governor, but let's keep going. March and April, she made the claim, number 3 in death. Yes, you were, along with your friends, New York and New Jersey, right up there, just killing a lot of people in the beginning. Now you said that we're 40th. Even though we're 10th in population in the country, we're 40th now. I didn't find this stat. I didn't find this data. And I don't know if she's just referring 40th in the nation with number of cases and positivity rates and deaths. I couldn't find it. But I did look up what is a very easy stat to look up is basically deaths per 1 million. I mean, that's really showing you what's really going on in each state, right? Is how many died per 1 million. So it's a nice little stat that you can look at. So let's go through the stats again because she made the claim that she was number 3 in death in the beginning. Now we're number 40th. 40th. Okay. New Jersey coming in hot, number 1, 1,805 deaths per 1 million. New York, which has a clown for a governor who actually has the audacity, I just saw in the news today, that he has a book that he's coming out about leadership through this crisis. And I kind of smiled and said, what? How can you come out with a book about leadership on how you handle this crisis? Your number 2 deaths, you put a bunch of people in nursing homes and had them killed. And they killed over 30,000 people in New York. Anybody going to listen to you? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I almost just want to read the book so I can just get on here and roast it, but I'm not going to waste my money on that clown. I do not like the guy. Number 3, Massachusetts, 1,284 deaths per 1 million. Connecticut, 1,250 deaths per 1 million. Louisiana, 991 deaths per 1 million. Number 6, Rhode Island, 969 deaths per 1 million. Mississippi, 727 deaths per 1 million. Number 8, Ocho, Michigan, 663 deaths per 1 million. Number 9, Delaware, 611 deaths per 1 million. In Florida, you made your top 10, 462 deaths per 1 million. Wait, what? You said that we were 40th. And I know you weren't saying deaths per 1 million. You're probably combining some other stats. However, you're number 8 on the deaths per 1 million. Let's keep it real. And Florida's coming in at number 10 at 462 deaths. 200 deaths less per 1 million, with a population, an elderly population, who, by the way, is the most compromised, right, in this situation, in this pandemic. So that's what the data is as of right now. We're going to see how it evolves. I do know that cold and flu season are on their way. So who knows what's going to happen in this, but only time will tell. But I'm just going to continue to get on here and shoot down the narrative, because she said, I'm going to fight to save these powers. For every successor after me. Well, that's very kind of you, Governor. Very kind. And she went on to say, decline to sign. Okay. So you're going to fight to save these powers. And that's what she's leading with. She's really, truly telling people in Michigan that we're going to strip her away of her right to declare a state of emergency, which is 100% false. Fact check me. The 1976 law allows any governor, from here on out in the state of Michigan to declare a state of emergency for 28 days to get federal funding to make decisions to save Michiganders' lives. Then after 28 days, they have to work with who? The elected officials that we, the people, elected to work together from there on out, not unilateral power, not people continuing to extend the state of emergency. So decline to sign? No. Inclined to sign to stop this tyrannical person from ruining our state. My goodness gracious, folks, it's not hard. Look up the stats, look at the data, educate, empower yourself, and understand that this governor does not have our best interest, because all I do is catch them in lies. That's it. That's all I do is catch them in lies. And the medical professional, Dr. Caldew, I think her name is, she went on to say today, if you are lucky, you get to keep your life and you don't die. What? Why are you even making a statement like that as a healthcare professional when the majority of people are not dying from this? The stats and the data show that they're recovering. And if you take the population at a whole, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning as of right now. That may change, but as of right now, than dying from this disease and this virus. And you go on there and fearmonger and say, if you are lucky, you get to keep your life and you don't die. My goodness gracious. Over a 99% chance, you have a better chance of getting struck by lightning. And that's the narrative. And that's what you're going to continue to say to people. Man, how dare you? How dare you? So let's talk about something of my own personal experience, because now I know more people that have died from suicide than people who have died from this virus. True story, folks. You believe that? So that's what I've said from the very beginning. The unilateral decision-making of this tyrannical governor, the things that are going to come out over the next several years, and the death that will probably come about with the stress, the anxiety, the adrenal fatigue, people missing their medical appointments because we were shut down in the beginning, people missing possibly their preventative care or maybe a diagnosis that may be dying of heart attacks, cancer, any other disease, you name it. And while when the suicide hotline is up 1,800%, and this guy knows more people have died from suicide than COVID, personally, why aren't we talking about that? Because when she continues just to not give us any hope, when she continues to not give us any end in sight of this thing, she just continues to move the goalposts, as they say, people are dying. And people are going to continue to die because of the decision-making of this unilateral governor, because of her political aspirations. And she'll continue to put Michiganders into the ground. And more people will commit suicide. There'll be more domestic violence. There'll be more kids that see that domestic violence that will never heal from those scars. And I'm going to make a video soon about the ramifications of this non-socialization that's not only happening to adults, but children. Children need socialization. And any psychologists out there, any therapists, you know I'm right. Start standing up. Start getting on social media and giving people your expertise, because we have a new pandemic that is right around the corner unless we stop this governor. More and more kids, more and more adults are going to die from the stress that this is caused, from the non-socialization that is happening. When these kids are in school and they have to socially distance, they can't interact. You know, we've all felt this. When we get together with groups of people again, how good do we feel? It's almost an emotional occasion, isn't it? And you see it more and more when these kids go for dance recital pictures. They haven't seen their friends in 4 months, and they're like, oh my gosh, and they're crying and they're hugging. You don't think there's bigger things going on right here than a virus that you have over a 99% chance of surviving as a population as a whole? Do you understand the bigger picture? And that's one thing I've always promised you from the very beginning, is to not only lead and give you up-to-date, accurate, and truthful information and get us back to work as fast and safe as possible and to repeal that 1945 law, but Ron and I and our movement has always gotten on here and talked about recovery, because we know this is going to be a long, long road of recovery, physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. There's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done. So to all my 50,000 soldiers out there that are circulating this petition, I can never thank you enough for what you have done and what you all are currently doing. And understand this, that every day that it takes from here on out, there are going to be more Michiganders, more Americans that die from this situation. So I want you to remember this, that what you're doing right now is actually saving lives, because the sooner we can repeal this 1945 law and the sooner we can get our checks and balances back in this state, the more lives we're going to save. Because I guarantee you, if we continue down this road of tyranny, there are going to be more Michiganders committing suicide. There's going to be more domestic violence. There's going to be more horrible diseases, because we're not doing what we need to do right now. So understand, my circulators out there, you're a part of something big. You're a part of bigger, or something bigger than self, and that's called passion. That's called passion. And you all, as we the people, are a part of this movement, and we can get this done. We have the momentum. So if you want to get involved and you haven't yet, and what I said here tonight got something inside your heart, inside your soul fired up, contact unlockmichigan.com/standupmichigan. Order your 4 petitions. Go out and get 40 signatures. And once you're done with those 40, request 40 more. And we, the people, together will get this done in record time and restore the checks and balances in this state to save Michiganders' lives. That's what's at stake. That's what's at stake. So continue to push. Continue to get out there and fight for not only you, but for your family and for your fellow Michiganders, your fellow Americans. Until next time, folks, God bless you. God bless the state of Michigan. And God bless these United States. Have a phenomenal night. Goodbye.